While everyone finds their seats, I would refer you again to the program. Most importantly in your program are bios for Dean Quam and Associate Dean Cuomo, but also in your program is a detailed description on page 3 of the Faculty Leadership Development Program that is currently being piloted in CFANS and CEHD, and you heard Dean Hughes refer to that earlier in her remarks. So in summary, the Leadership Development Program is customized for each college, but is based on the competencies that enable academic leaders to successfully address the key challenges that face leaders at the university. Participants benefit in several key areas, including increasing self-awareness, deepening their understanding of leadership behaviors, experiencing the practical application of leadership behaviors, and expanding their peer network within and across the cohorts, as well as the opportunity to explore university academic leadership opportunities and the resources to support them in these roles. The program is approximately 10 hours a month over a year, and activities include professional development assessments, an accountability partner within the cohort, and a leadership and talent development coach to help them personalize a plan for professional and leadership development goals. For more information, you can contact us via the email ltd@umn.edu, and this contact information is also listed at the bottom of your program, at the last page, on the bottom of the last page. One final note, in larger colleges, it's more difficult to impact employee engagement at the college level. Action is best achieved at a local level through not only department chairs and heads, but also with faculty who are in leadership roles as directors of undergraduate and graduate studies, primary investigators, leaders of their research labs, and chairs on department and college level committees, including promotion and tenure and policy and finance committees. The cohort and college-based faculty leadership development program is designed to be an opportunity for faculty leaders to not only explore and prepare for their next level of academic leadership, it's also an opportunity for faculty to impact the level of engagement in their college, in their increased ability to capitalize on their own leadership competencies in the areas of relationship building, aligning resources, driving results, selecting and developing talent, and supporting innovation. We are thrilled to have Associate Dean Cuomo and Dean Quam here with us today to talk about their decision to invest in their faculty through this program. Let's begin with Associate Dean Cuomo to share with us what has been important in providing this opportunity to the faculty and CFANS and what he hopes can be achieved for the participants and the college.
Well, thanks very much, Jennifer. I guess as a college, we've been thinking about leadership and leadership development for our faculty for actually a very long time and trying some different things. So this pilot program really came at a very good time for us. There were a couple of things that really drove our thinking, and one was succession planning. And particularly internally, we were struggling to get people interested in leadership and interested in leadership opportunities. But more broadly, we were really thinking about retention issues, and particularly focusing on early and mid-career faculty, and how we thought that faculty and leadership development was a way that we could engage our early mid-career faculty and create a sense of community in our college. And so we had a much broader vision of what we thought could come from a program like this. And then, as we've heard from a number of speakers, there's the E2 survey and the messages that we all got that I guess we knew underneath, but it brought home with some reality when we saw it on Brandon's report. So we had some specific goals, and as a college, and again, we think about leadership and leadership development broadly. There's obviously a need for administrators, but we think about leadership in terms of professional leadership in societies, about ability to lead graduate students and be a director of graduate studies, to put multi-dimensional or multi-institutional grants together. And so really we hire our faculty. We think they're leaders. That's why we hire them. And this is an opportunity to bring those strengths out regardless of what they are. We also realize that in some of the survey results is we don't communicate a message to our faculty as well as we could. There's a lot of perceptions about what administration does and why we do it. And making this connection enabled us to be one of those voices and maybe talk and increase the transparency about some of the actions we're taking as administration. And I don't know if this is a good term, but we sort of think about this as a way to create good university citizens. New faculty come, we tell them they have to publish papers, they have to get grants, they have to teach courses, we want them to train graduate students. But those things in themselves do not create can do a work environment for some that makes them feel valued. So we think about this engagement, this leadership development as, I'm going to say, connecting those things as sort of a way to connect all those things together into a better faculty experience and hopefully really work with us on retention issues that we know are coming. In short, we were trying to create a future leaders cohort. So some things we've learned so far, which I found very interesting in these discussions, is there's a lot of different reasons people feel unprepared for leadership. And so sort of hearing all these things, and there's things that you can do ubiquitously across there, but we actually hire few enough faculty where there's individual needs and that we can identify those and help develop individuals as leaders to their levels of the things that they're interested in. And I think one of the things that we really learned was it tells particularly early and mid-career faculty that we're interested in them. So when we first got and we appreciate CEHD getting out in front on this, but we got a message about this workshop or this thing. We sent out the email to the department head, we sent out an email to faculty, deadlines coming up, we had 3 people. So we just quickly got together. If anybody's out there, we didn't mean to exclude anybody, but literally in 15 minutes, we just wrote down names with a couple of the other associate deans, sent invites to about 25 faculty. I don't want to say everybody because I might have missed one, but well over 90% of the people that we contacted individually and said, we think you are a good candidate as a potential leader, said, great, I'd like to be in the course. So there's that personal connection was really a big thing. The last thing, I'm going to talk a little about some of the outcomes that we'd like to see as a college from this training. That one is really to break down some of those barriers to communication, break down barriers to leadership by improving communication. And this career satisfaction thing is really an issue for us. We need to find a way to keep those bright people that we're bringing into our faculty and help them see a future for themselves in the college, help them see a place for themselves beyond just their own research project. And we do feel that an engaged and thoughtful leadership just creates a better work environment as a whole.
Thank you very much. Jean Quam.
Thank you. I could make this very short and say I agree with everything that Greg said.
Glad I went first.
Yeah. And we were very pleased to be able to do this with CFANs. We've learned a lot from each other. We were trying to hustle to get faculty together over the December break, and the other thing I would say is that if you have a little longer runway, it's helpful to be able to talk individually with folks, because we had the same reaction when we sent out notes. People said, well, why are you asking me? And so it did take some encouragement and identifying who was really, who we thought were good potential leaders. I also want to give credit to Ken Bartlett, who's my associate dean. About a year ago, Ken teaches human resource development, and so about a year ago I asked him if he would consider being associate dean for faculty affairs. And he paused for a minute and said, do you want me to be for them or against them? And I said, well, I don't want you to really take an opinion on this, but what he went on to say to me was that he would take the position if it was faculty development. And that has really been exciting to me, to think about how we can work with our faculty and really develop them into leaders. And when I interview assistant professors, frequently I will say to them, we work very hard to hire the very, very best assistant professors we can find. We work very hard to see that you get promoted and tenured, and I want to think about that you will spend your entire career at the University of Minnesota and retire from here. That you will be so challenged and excited by being in Minnesota that you'll want to stay. And I think one of the ways that we do that is we do create a lot of opportunities for our faculty. So we're a very large college. We have 8 departments in 11 different buildings on 2 campuses and over 200 tenure line faculty. But the surprising thing to me, and I'll follow what Becky said because I was part of the Wave 1 mergers and changes, we had 3 colleges that came together. And when I became dean, I went to each of them and I said, how is it that you decide who's going to be the next department chair? And we have 8 departments, and there were 8 different ways that they all decided. Some said, oh, we always do an outside search. Some said, it's the next person in line. We all know who's going to be the next department chair. Some said, oh, we never go outside. it always has to be somebody inside. And then the most interesting response was, oh, when we start to have that discussion, I sure know that I don't get up and go to the bathroom because I'll be elected chair. So with all those thoughtful strategies about leadership, we really thought that this was a very important thing to do. So we're lucky. I think we have about 14 or 15 faculty now who've been engaged in this program. They've had 2 or 3 sessions already. The first session, there were 4 or 5 of us who came and talked about our own path to leadership. We talked about, I think one of the things that you said, Greg, was they didn't have to sign on the dotted line that they would guarantee that they would be a department chair. Some of them might be director of graduate studies, director of undergraduate studies, program chairs, search chairs, but that this was an opportunity for them to really think through those roles. What was interesting to me in that first meeting was how many of the questions were very personal. So they were questions about work-life balance, and should I be doing this if I have young children? Should I be doing this if I haven't gone up for promotion to full professor? How do you keep your research agenda going? How do you continue to work with your graduate students? How do you find the time to do this? And an interesting one, too, was how do I keep up my friendships and my relationships with my colleagues if I suddenly become the leader in the department? How to be tough enough. And I think it was Ken at one of those sessions that talked about one of the reasons that individuals stop being department chairs, the largest or the greatest reason, was having to deal with difficult faculty. And it probably makes it much harder if the difficult faculty is a friend or a former colleague. So we have been very excited about this program. We already have lots of people who are saying to us, we want to be in the second cohort. I'm on sabbatical, or this wasn't a good time for me to be able to do that, but I definitely want to do this the next time. So for me, the most important thing is really giving people confidence, having them look at themselves, really see the abilities that they have and see the opportunities that are available to them, that they can really have a very successful career here and lots of opportunities.
Thank you, Jean. I just have to add that yesterday, standing in the suite of 100 Dunhow, one of your faculty came in who I happen to know and gave me a hug and said, I get a whole hour just devoted to thinking about myself. Isn't that cool? As she went into her session with her coach. So that was very fun to see. Well, thank you.